Today we're heading to take a look at a leak underneath the kitchen sink. I believe this job will be simple enough. I've seen some pictures of it and it looks like things probably weren't tightened down properly. The system dropped a little bit and just needs to make a little bit of a minor adjustment. However, because my customer has been kind enough to allow us to film this footage for you all, I told him that we'd give him a couple of little upgrades. So we're going to end up replacing the basket strainers over here at this kitchen sink as well, just give them a nice fresh new look. And he also has a mechanical vent installed in place. The venting is just a little bit too low, so we're going to modify that and make that correct too. Now of course, these jobs don't always work out the way you expect them to be. Sometimes you arrive on site and even if you've seen pictures of the situation, things just end up being a little bit different in person than what you kind of envision them to be. So we'll see for sure what's going to be involved when we get there, whether there will be any surprises or not, but we'll get it squared away either way. Alright, so we're here taking a look at the sink and we can see what's going on. You take a look down below. So you can see that this line has come loose from the pipe up above. This can occur if someone has roughly bumped the pipes, but more often than not, it's an issue of the line not being cut properly, being cut a little bit too short. So what we're going to do is not just reconnect this, we're going to go ahead and take this piping out here, replace it with new pipe that we're going to be sure is adequately trimmed, adequately sized. We're also going to replace our mechanical vent right here. This particular vent isn't installed the way it should be. It's a little bit too low. It's going to do the job, but ideally you want the vent to be above the bottom portion of the sink. By installing it in this manner, if there's ever a backup within the home, then it's not going to damage the vent. It'll back up into the sink first before the mechanical vent. So we're going to go ahead and trim this pipe here. We may even see if we can save the hub of this fitting and go all the way down to this hub. We'll then come on up with a new line, 45 it over so that we're not going to be conflicting with the faucet and get the vent up where it should be. And lastly, we're going to replace the basket strainers coming through the sink as well. These strainers are in fine condition, they're acceptable, but as I mentioned earlier, we're sort of doing this as a bonus gift to the customer. So we're going to go ahead and leave them with everything completely refreshed and new. Let's get started. Alright, so now that we've got the rest of the piping out of the way, we're going to go ahead and trim the drain pipe coming just above the T. This is actually part of our vent. We're going to trim that down and then go ahead and remove the pipe from the fitting so that we can then extend the new drain or the new vent upwards. This is a hub saver fitting from Reed. It allows us to extract the pipe from within the fitting. It's exactly what we're going to do. So this is our new mechanical vent. This is a Shore Vent by Odie. Venting is very important to the drainage system. After the water flows through the trap, you need to have a vent prior to the line going downhill, or at least at the same time as it goes downhill, as is the case with this setup. Now, if you don't have a vent coming out the moment you go downhill or prior to going downhill, you essentially have an S-trap in the system. And the concern with an S-trap is that when you have enough water flow through the drains at one time, you can actually siphon the water out from the trap and then introduce sewer gas to the home. However, when we have a situation like this one here, our kitchen sink is installed in an island. You can't have a traditional vent that goes out through the roof. So the typical setup is going to be to install a mechanical vent like this one here. This product allows for air to get induced into the drain line so that everything would drain properly, and then it closes and seals back up again, preventing sewer gas from escaping into the home through the vent. We're going to go ahead and glue up the new pipe for the vent. The glue that we're using is actually a one-step glue, which means it already has primer built into it. There's no need for an additional primer. So we've got everything plumbed up. Now it's time to test our work. We're going to plug the sinks with the new strainers, fill the sinks up, and see what happens when we drain it. Alright, with that we got this job taken care of. New drain lines in place, vent corrected, and he's even got some nice shiny looking basket strainers. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.